Hey there, fellow cat lovers and history enthusiasts. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into the rich and fascinating history of one of the most beloved and enigmatic creatures on the planet, the cat. These curious, graceful, and often mysterious animals have captured our hearts and imaginations for thousands of years. But did you know that their journey with humans goes back much further than the simple companionship we share today? From sacred status in ancient civilizations to their modern-day roles as cherished companions and social media stars, cats have evolved through history in some truly extraordinary ways. In this video, we'll explore how cats have been revered, feared, worshipped, and celebrated across different cultures and epochs. We'll begin in ancient Egypt, where they were considered sacred creatures, and travel through time to the present day, uncovering the role cats have played in society. Along the way, we'll also touch on the science behind the domestication of cats and how their special place in human history has shaped the way we view them today. So grab a cup of tea, curl up with your own cat, and let's take a journey through the fascinating history of these wonderful creatures. Ancient Egypt, the sacred guardians. The story of cats' relationship with humans begins in ancient Egypt, where they were first elevated from mere wild animals to divine beings. Cats were so highly regarded in Egypt that they became synonymous with the divine, often associated with gods and goddesses. The goddess Bastet, the feline deity of home, fertility, and protection, was one of the most powerful figures in Egyptian mythology. Depicted as a lioness or a woman with the head of a lioness or domestic cat, Bastet represented both the nurturing aspects of motherhood and the fierce protective qualities of a lioness. Cats in ancient Egypt were revered for their hunting abilities, particularly their prowess in controlling vermin populations, which helped protect vital food supplies. Cats were often kept in homes and temples to protect grain stores and other food supplies from rodents. As a result, they became not just protectors of food, but also symbols of protection and good fortune. The Egyptians believed that having a cat in the household would bring blessings, and they often offered sacrifices and prayers to Bastet, hoping for her favor and protection. The Egyptians' reverence for cats extended to their afterlife beliefs. Cats were mummified and buried with their owners, often in elaborate tombs. In fact, the Egyptians' mummification of cats was so widespread that entire cat cemeteries have been discovered, containing thousands of mummified cats, some of which were preserved with the same care and attention as human mummies. Killing a cat, even accidentally, was considered a grave offense and could result in severe punishment, even death. As a testament to their sacred status, cats in ancient Egypt were often kept as pets by royalty and aristocrats. They were pampered and treated with the utmost care, sometimes even adorned with precious jewelry. In Egyptian society, owning a cat was a mark of distinction, and their companionship was seen as a symbol of grace and good fortune. It wasn't uncommon for Egyptian pharaohs to have pet cats, who would accompany them to ceremonial events and even be present during royal feasts. Cats in ancient Greece and Rome, from reverence to fear. While ancient Egypt is widely recognized for its reverence of cats, the role of cats in ancient Greece and Rome is somewhat more complicated. Both civilizations recognized the utility of cats in controlling pests, but they didn't assign the same divine status to them as the Egyptians did. Instead, cats in the ancient Mediterranean world were seen more as practical animals rather than sacred creatures. In ancient Greece, cats were admired for their ability to hunt, and they were commonly kept in homes and farms to keep rodents under control. However, they didn't play as central a role in Greek mythology or religion. There are only a few references to cats in Greek literature, often depicting them as skilled hunters or as companions to goddesses, but they were not worshipped in the same way as Bastet. The Romans, however, had a somewhat more complicated relationship with cats. Like the Greeks, they appreciated their skills as hunters, and cats were commonly kept on farms and in households to protect food stores. However, Roman attitudes toward cats were mixed. Some Romans admired cats for their grace and independence, while others saw them as symbols of female independence or even as creatures that were linked to dark, mysterious forces. This ambivalence towards cats is evident in Roman mythology, where the goddess Diana, associated with the moon and hunting, was often depicted with a cat. Cats were also believed to have supernatural powers, and some Romans feared them as omens of bad luck or witchcraft. Despite these superstitions, cats continued to thrive in the Roman world, particularly in urban centers where they were valued for their ability to keep rodents at bay. In fact, during the Roman Empire's expansion, cats spread to various parts of Europe and Asia, making their way to new territories as symbols of pest control and protectors of food supplies. The Middle Ages, cats and the rise of superstition. The Middle Ages in Europe marked a dramatic shift in the way cats were perceived. While the ancient civilizations had largely revered cats, this era saw a rise in superstition, and cats, particularly black ones, became associated with witchcraft and evil forces. The Christian Church, which held immense power during the Middle Ages, viewed cats with suspicion, especially because they were often associated with paganism and the occult. Black cats, in particular, became targets of fear and persecution. They were believed to be witches' familiars, or even witches in disguise. This belief was particularly strong in the 16th and 17th centuries during the height of the European witch hunts. Cats, especially black ones, were often tortured, killed, or driven out of towns in the belief that they brought bad luck or were agents of the devil. During this time, there was also a dramatic decrease in the cat population in Europe. Cats were killed in large numbers due to their association with witchcraft, and as a result, rat populations began to rise, contributing to the spread of the bubonic plague. It's ironic, of course, that the very creatures that had been so revered for their role in controlling pests were now being killed off, exacerbating the very problem they had once helped solve. The connection between the decline of cats and the rise of the plague is a somber chapter in the history of cats in Europe. The Renaissance, a shift in perception. Fortunately, the Renaissance brought with it a shift in attitudes toward cats. With the rise of humanism and the rediscovery of classical texts, European society began to embrace more rational and scientific ways of thinking. Cats, no longer seen solely through the lens of superstition, started to regain some of their former esteem. During the Renaissance, cats were once again recognized for their elegance and their role as effective pest controllers. Artists and scholars of the time began to portray cats in more favorable lights, often as symbols of beauty, grace, and intelligence. Cats began to appear in paintings, literature, and scientific texts as beloved companions, though not yet to the extent of their status in ancient Egypt. While the superstition surrounding cats still lingered in some regions, they were slowly being rehabilitated in the eyes of European society. In the 17th and 18th centuries, cats were kept as pets in many aristocratic households, and their presence in homes began to be seen as a mark of sophistication and comfort. The Victorian era, cats as domestic companions. By the 19th century, particularly during the Victorian era, cats had firmly established themselves as cherished companions in many households. The Industrial Revolution had changed society in many ways, including how people viewed and treated animals. The middle and upper classes in particular began to treat cats as domestic pets, and they were no longer viewed as mere utility animals. The Victorians were passionate about breeding cats and developed several distinct breeds, some of which are still popular today, such as the Persian and the British Shorthair. During this time, cats became symbols of domestic tranquility, often seen lounging contentedly in the homes of the upper classes. Cats were also featured prominently in literature and art, where they were often depicted as symbols of mystery, independence, and grace. The growing popularity of cats during this period can also be seen in the many cat-related products that emerged, from decorative cat figurines to specialized cat food. The Victorians were among the first to truly elevate the domestic cat to the status of a beloved family member. Modern day, cats as beloved companions and cultural icons. Fast forward to today, and cats are arguably more popular than ever. In the 21st century, cats have become cultural icons, adored by millions of people around the world. They have transitioned from being revered creatures in ancient civilizations to beloved companions in modern homes. With the rise of social media, cats have become stars, with millions of followers on platforms like Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Cats like Grumpy Cat and Lil Bub have become internet sensations, transcending their status as pets and becoming symbols of humor, joy, and personality. Today, cats are seen as symbols of comfort and companionship, particularly in urban environments where they provide emotional support and joy to millions of people. They are cherished not only for their beauty and grace but also for their calming presence. The therapeutic benefits of having a cat as a pet are widely recognized, and studies have shown that spending time with cats can reduce stress, anxiety, and even lower blood pressure. In addition, cats have become increasingly recognized as important members of the family. From extravagant cat cafes to luxury pet products, cats are treated with the utmost care and respect. They have their own place in modern society, and many people see them,